Ahoy, class. Welcome to week 5 of digital photography. This week we are exploring spaces and places. So we'll be learning about landscape photography and travel photography. These are two that are super fun and a lot of you should enjoy. A lot of you mentioned that you really like landscape photography. And so you're going to have some, you don't have a reading in one of your textbooks this week. Instead, you just have some videos and some articles to read. There are a few optional ones. The optional ones you don't have to read, or you don't have to read all of them. They're just there if you want some extra insight. Because photography is divided into a lot of different categories, but within those categories, there's so many different things that you can do. So I encourage you to find what grabs you and to dig into it a little bit more. This week, you're going to start off with a discussion. You've got to research landscape and travel photographers. Pick one, tell us a little bit about them, and share some of their work with us. When you're looking at their images, make notes, ideally, like on paper or digitally, not just in your head. Make notes about what it is that stands out about their work to you. Like, is it their use of leading lines? Is it where they put the horizon line? Is it that they always like focus on the foreground, like one of the guys in one of the videos mentions as a tip? But make notes of those things so that you can then incorporate that into your own work. So your photo exercise for the week 5, D2, is same subject, different places. So this one, think of it as a mental stretching exercise. Have fun with it, experiment. So you find you a subject. I don't know. Okay, right now I'm just gonna pretend it's this bottle. Use something more creative than the bottle. Figures are really great, but if you don't have a figure, go get you a rock and draw a face on it. The moment you put a face on something, it becomes infinitely more interesting. But it doesn't have to have a face. It could be any sort of object. So you're either going to take your subject around 2 different spaces, or you can create different scenes or scenarios. So, like, if you do shoot all of your shots, let's say in your home or in your apartment, you need to stage the scene so that it doesn't look like the same thing over and over again. You need to make it feel like it's telling a story if you're going to go that route. I would encourage you to go to different spaces. That's actually probably the easier way to do that assignment. But if you can't for some reason, you can create scenes. Your photo assignment for this week is a photo tour. It can be a photo tour of your town, whatever city you happen to be in, your campus, your work. It could be a tour of your favorite park. It might also be a tour of your day. It could be, you could go for a nature hike, and it could be a tour along the trail. Ideally, there would be some variety on the trail, but just to give you options, it doesn't have to be all over the place. However, if you are able to drive around your town and take pictures, you'll get a lot of variety in your shots. I would encourage you to shoot throughout the day. You might have to shoot on different days in order to do that. Most of you will be working with natural lighting throughout the day, but shooting artificial lighting in the city at night can be really interesting as well. So, once again, have fun with this one. You can, if you want, put a subject in these shots, but they should be more like a travel photography series. Like you're taking someone on a tour. And for this one, you're going to put a contact sheet together of all of your shots, but you're also going to make a flip book using that same contact sheet maker that doesn't have the file names underneath it to distract from the images. And it's like 2 images to a page. And so you'll have your visual critique like usual. And then the big thing that you have this week is you're writing your project proposal for your final project. So your final project is not due until week 8, but there will be a few things that we'll be checking on between now and then. Your final series, your final project, it's going to be a series of images, aka a body of work, as we refer to it in the photography arena, of 10 to 20 images with a common topic or theme. You'll also be writing a 2 to 3 paragraph final statement about that body of work once you've completed it. So this is going to require a little research and planning. You're going to want to go ahead and research narrative photography. You might also look into storytelling. Brainstorm at least 10 ideas for your final project. More would be better, but brainstorm at least 10. And yes, you're going to include that list of 10 ideas in your document with your proposal when you turn it into me. So I know that you did it. A big part of studying art or anything creative is the process involved. For some reason, a lot of people think that like artists and designers and photographers that we just press a button or we just have things randomly come to us, but that's not true. There's a lot of practice, research, brainstorming, and just thinking through like, hey, what is the best subject to shoot, what's the best way to shoot it, and applying all of these techniques and things that we learn. So when you brainstorm, like 10 ideas, your first idea is usually not your best idea. It's usually one of the ones towards the end, because the more you brainstorm, the more you word dump or idea dump, the more loosened up your brain is going to get, and the more creative your ideas are going to be. Then you go back and look at them and you pick your best one, or you look at them like, oh, hey, I could merge these two, and you get something cool and interesting that way. Your proposal should include a detailed list of inspirations, text, subjects, shot list, and your shooting schedule. So you want to go ahead and rough all these up. Yes, they're probably subject to change, but it's really important that you go ahead and you think about the fact that you have a little over 2 weeks really to do this assignment. Remember that week 8 is a short week. It ends on either Wednesday or Thursday, so you won't have a full week that week. Things will be due in the middle of the week. So really you have about a little over 2 weeks for this assignment. So you want to be realistic. So try and think of something fun and creative and a little challenging for yourself, but don't make it too challenging. And so you're going to submit your proposals to me. And I think it's a one-page proposal. And then on page 2 and 3, on one page, I want your 10 ideas. And on the other page, there's something else that I've requested. I want to encourage you to use either creative shooting or editing techniques. Now, we haven't really gotten to editing yet. I'm kind of like customizing the second half of this class based on what y'all have expressed interest in, and a lot of you do not have Adobe Creative Cloud. I do want us to get into a little editing, but before we get, and we'll be touching on it in future weeks, but since we haven't gotten there yet, just go look around the internet at ideas. I think the last time I taught this class, like there was someone that just did their series, like their creative techniques was black and white. Somebody did like some motion blur, you might could do something special with lighting. You could do like duotone images, like which is like a 2-color thing. You could do composites. Tell me even if you don't know how to do it already, tell me what techniques you're interested in, and if I can teach it to you in the span of time we have for your images, then I'll customize some of our stuff for that. If there's something that you're hoping to learn that we have not gotten to yet, please message me about it. You can email me, you can put in the class forum. I want to make sure that we hit as many items on your photography wish list as possible. There's so much to learn, so much to cover. I'm kind of hoping that I can get Upper Iowa to add a second photography class, and that second photography class focus a little bit more on editing and like creative projects, but we'll see. Your project proposal, I'll give you feedback on it. I'll let you know as soon as possible whether I do think what your goal is feasible, or whether you need to add more to it or simplify it. And yeah, I think that is it for this week. I will be attending a design conference called Creative South in Columbus, Georgia, most of this week, and working it as a volunteer. So Thursday through Saturday, it'll be really hard to reach me. If you need me, send me a text message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Have a great week, guys. I can't wait to see what kind of photography work y'all come up with this week.